Welcome, ladies, persons, and gentlemen. This is We Hate the Same Things. I'm Ali, and this is my Remember When video. I'm going to be counting down the top 10 most embarrassing things that ever happened to me, in my opinion. You could have gone something a lot worse. You could have gone through something a lot worse, but maybe not. I'm going to cut this video into two. I'm going to have a part 1 and a part 2. The part 1 is going to count down from 10 till 6, and the part 2 is going to count down from 5 to the worst at number 1. Let's get started. So, I'm sharing these so that I can maybe, I don't know, exercise some demons or some shit, because I use these thoughts, well, I don't, you know, if I could forget them, I really would, but these things pop up, like intrusive thoughts, just like intrusive thoughts, and they are known as intrusive memories. So, say I'll start off my day really well, I'll be on the loo or something, and my brain will go, remember when blah 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 blah, and that'll be it. That's it for the rest of the day. That'll be in my head for the rest of the day. I could be doing 101 things, but like a cat trying to get in at night, scratching on the back door, it's there in the back of my head. Go, remember when? Remember when? Remember when? Remember when? Constantly. Yeah. And I know this happens to a lot of people, but there are some things where people who suffer from panic and anxiety disorders, there is a like a cut-off point where we veer off and go into another realm, and that can be, there's a couple of things. So the first one I'll say is involuntary, say involuntary words, movements, noises. So for me, sometimes it feels like when I remember these embarrassing things, it feels like a bucket of cold water has been thrown over my head, and I sort of just emit anxiety from then on, like radioactive anxiety. I sort of just emit it, you know, it's like my whole body's going whoa, 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 full of my pretty flowers, and you knocked them over. So much. It's like dread coming from the inside of me, going, almost as if I'm in the moment again. And sometimes I beat my chest. Sometimes I clap, like, ugh. I've done that on the bus before. I've remembered something awful, I'm just going, ugh. That didn't go down too well with the person I was sitting next to. Couldn't help it though. I can shout, like going, ah, or, you know, something just to get the ick off. And I feel like the best word for me to use is ick, because that's what it feels like. It's sticky, it feels awful, and it bogs you down. So the other thing that I'd like to mention, actually, before I start counting down, is us panicky, anxiety people, we like to ruminate, and we like to think and think and think and think and think over these things, whereas someone who doesn't suffer with an anxiety or a panic related disorder may just go, oh, that was awful, and then shrug it or laugh it off. We tend to ruminate because we can never think too much, and think about how, you know, replaying it over and over again, what I should have said, what I should have done, how I should have walked, how I should have spoken, what I should have said, just everything over and over and over and over again, and it's not healthy for you. I'll tell you that. So one of the things that I did find is the information that I found said that if you're in a depressive mood, or like a really low phase, I hate the word phase, but you know what I mean, you're more likely to have intrusive thoughts and intrusive memories as such. It's very difficult when you're depressed to hold on to good things, and so you will relate everything to a bad thing. Everything will be a reminder of a bad thing that happened. And so, yeah, I definitely have to admit, when I'm feeling really, really low, these memories come up, and it can be one after another. So where are we? 4.5 minutes. Oh, I'm just trying to, I do want to share. I really do want to share. I don't know why I'm dragging so much. Okay, so I found this website called the Calm Clinic, and their little tagline is help for panic and anxiety sufferers. And on their website, it's run by two people I think who live with or are still, you know, battling with anxiety and panic disorders, possibly PTSD, which is covered by their website as well. And they've got free advice and tools and loads of stuff and stories and experiences, all types of stuff. And their focus is you having a positive, I hate the word, you know I hate the word, journey, positive transformation with what you're dealing with, basically. So I found this on the Intrusive Thoughts page. I thought it was really, really good. Unwanted Memories. Though not often considered an intrusive thought in the medical sense, many people experience persistent unwanted memories. Those with PTSD are especially prone to these types of memories, but anyone may have a memory that causes them significant distress. And those with anxiety are more likely to have that memory pop up at unwanted times. So, there we go. Just quickly, another thing that kind of separates us panicky anxiety people is our tendency to chastise and to punish ourselves as well. So I know that for me, sometimes I pinch myself, or I'll, you know, like squeeze my hands too tight or do something as like a reminder not to do that again. Remember that thing that happened, do not fuck up like that again, because so yeah, that's another thing. I kind of had this feeling that that moment, that embarrassing thing still lives on like a universe all of itself, you know, like some Doctor Who shit. It's still happening over and over and over again, and I'm gauging people's facial expressions, and they're gauging everything all over again constantly. So yeah, let's do this. I'm going to give you my 10 till 6 most embarrassing moments. Okay, so no further ado, let's exercise some demons. Let's get on with this shit. At number 10, nearly closing a deal with a guy. So I was at a work party with my mum. It was my mum's workplace party at one of her co-workers' houses, and everyone from the office was there. I was with my best friend, and this guy was too old for me, but I was going to make that fuck work. I was going to make it work. Yeah, so all night we were kind of talking and flirting and stuff, and then it got to a point where it was like calming down in the evening, and everyone was sitting around, and I'm talking to this guy. I'm with my friend, and my mum's there. And so he's asking me all these questions, and we're, you know, we're just generally talking, and I turn to my mum and I call her mummy. And I could physically see, I could see his soul go flaccid. I really could. It was, and he, from then on, he was like, do you know what? No, because you called your mum mummy. And it's one word. All I had to do was say mum. No. I said mummy. And I haven't got a problem. If a guy called his mum mummy, I'd love it. I think that's the cutest thing ever. But when you're trying to close a deal, maybe, you know, don't do that. So close. Number 9, interview at Cineworld. Okay, so my friend worked there, and she managed to get me and another friend, Ashley, in to get this interview. It was like a cattle market. There was loads of people there, and they were doing it type of like, you and you come with me. Unfortunately, I didn't get the good manager. I got the cunt manager. Pardon my... That's not even French. I got the manager that wasn't very nice. And so we're sitting down in this circle, and he asks me a question, and I'm okay at public speaking, like in a small group when I can see people's faces. I'm okay with that. And he asked me a question. My brain left. It was like, oh, I'm gonna go. I couldn't get my mouth to work properly. I was going and you should. I can't even remember what the question was. I don't even think I knew what the question was then when I answered it. And I have this thing. I really like, you know, looking people in their eyes. And if it's a number of people, I'll look around the room and make sure everyone's engaged. And I was doing that while I was babbling. I was going over and he was looking at me like, I swear you're friends with one of the people that work here. And she said oh, really, really embarrassing. Really embarrassing. Okay, number 8. This was recent. So this was at my friend's New Year's Eve party. I talked about it in a previous video. I was turning a corner. I hate turning corners because I imagine there's someone around there going woo. Well, not going woo, but you know what I mean. And so we walked into each other and I went, oh God, right in her face. Again, my mouth failed me, and what I wanted to say was, oh God, sorry, but I just went, oh God, right in her face. That was it. And I was too, all of that stuff, I was too this to, you know, go, oh, sorry, blah, blah, blah. I scurried round the corner. I scurried round the corner. That's all I did. Oh, Jesus. All I had to say was something. I didn't say a damn thing. Number 7. I'm just going to say it. I was walking with my boyfriend at the time, an ex of mine, and we're having a lovely evening. It was absolutely lovely evening. Arm in arm. He wasn't the hand-holding type. I don't think I'm ever going to go for one of those again. Ugh, I like a nice hand-hold, you know. Having a lovely evening. Huh. And then I asked him how old his twin sister was. Let that sit with you for a second. Let that sit with you. I asked him how old his twin sister was. And I don't know if I was asking a different question. I don't know if I meant who was born first, but that is not why I asked him. And it felt like everyone, because we were walking through like a residential area, it felt like everyone had turned off their TVs at the same time, turned off the radios, turned off their music. You know, it felt like there was cameras, there was booms, there was mics. I was mic'd up. I was also wearing a wire. So all the police all over the world were listening. It was pay-per-view, so everyone around the world was watching. And it really felt like the second before I asked that question, everyone in the world tuned in. There was such a prevailing silence after I asked the question, and he looked at me like, "You okay? You okay, honey? You okay? You okay?" Oh Jesus! I told my friends, I told my mum, they like literally wet themselves. I don't know what happened. My brain, again, my mouth, my brain failed me. So number 6, last one for this video. Okay, so, oh, just snorted. Alright, so, for anyone that's had to change trains at Bank Underground Station, like change lines, say going from like Northern Line, I think it's Northern Line and Central Line. I think that's what I was doing, or it was another one. You'll know that it's possible for a marathon runner to train with the distance. And I'm a little bit lazy. Back then, I loved walking. I loved, you know, going out and you know, doing some miles and stuff with my mate and just talking. We used to walk and walk for ages. So I wasn't, you know, entirely unfit. But this was rush hour. There were people who really wanted to get home, and there were people about to step over my ass and trample me to death to get home. And I felt it. There was an air of, if any of you bitches go down, you know, you'll be lost in the cracks of the floor. And so I'm out of breath, and I'm thinking, I'm going to die down here. I'm never going to see the sun again. This is it. And I'm walking, and I don't know how long I've been walking, but I know that if I stop, I'm going to get trampled. There are so many people behind me, and they want to go home. So I'm walking, and I'm breathing so loud, and I have a thing about breathing in confined spaces, and sometimes I stop because I don't want anyone to hear me. So I'm just like, I didn't take my inhaler. It was just, I was not prepared for this journey. I was not prepared. So I'm walking. And My legs are like, yo, you're gonna stop. You're gonna stop soon, because we haven't got much in there. And I can feel it. I'm pleading with them, just stick with me for another minute, stick with me, please, legs, stick with me. And they did, until we got to some stairs, another staircase. I don't know what I did in a previous life to earn that extra staircase. I was like, how much further higher we gotta go? Who designed this? Why isn't there infrastructure for these types of situations? Why are we going higher? Can I sit down? Is there like a bit in the wall where someone can just breathe? Just get a minute to themselves to breathe. Oh, I was dying. I was absolutely dying at this point. And no, there was no such thing. When I fall, ladies and gentlemen, persons, I take people with me. All right, no shame. I grapple. I'm like, if I'm gonna die, you're gonna come with me, and that's what I did. I was, oh god, and I laughed because I had nothing left, and other people were laughing. So I'm going up the stairs. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm getting up, and there's someone like going with me, and I'm like, it was so embarrassing. And I was still out of breath, and I was laughing, and I there was no part of me that could cover over the fact that I had just gone through a lot then. I'd gone through a lot, and I tried to take people with me. My butt was in the air. I felt someone lift my butt so they could keep going. It was just awful. So that is 10 to 6. We have reached 17 minutes. So I'm going to turn this off, and you can feel free to watch from 5 to 1. Doodle pip. Oh, I can't do that.